afternoon, family members. Your cousin Cotton P. As you know, I've been dropping back to back So Black and So Beautiful pamphlets on social media platforms. The biggest brand coming to the hills of North America and all over the planet Earth. The universal call is here. I will be coming to a city near you. First stop is Dallas. I'll be in Dallas next week. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Cousin P from the B. Holla at your family member, man. I got some good news for you. I got some good wisdom for you. It's podcast 57. As my backpack giveaway is growing in numbers, I'm on my way to make sure everything is good. Podcast 57. Damn, I wish I had some water in this car. So check this out. How do you know when you are evolving in life? Evolving, meaning growing. When you're not doing the same shit you was doing last year and the year before that. How do you know when you are? Because some people go through life and they come with these New Year resolutions on what they gonna do and what they not gonna do. And then they find themselves cracking under pressure in certain situations and circumstances and resorting back to the bad habits. How do you know when you are evolving? If a man comes into your life and that man is giving you jewels on top of jewels and knowledge by critiquing you, explaining to you where you could do better, how you could do better, because he want to see you in the best of manners when you representing yourself, or when you doing certain things, he point out imperfections. When you able to accept constructive criticism, that's when you know you are evolving. Because if you say, take me as I am or take me as I are, you know how y'all talk, I'm not changing for nobody. That means that you are stuck in neutral, going nowhere but the car on. That means that you're not even getting to the next point because you so stuck in neutral that if somebody tell you that you stuck in neutral, put it in drive, you slap his hand down and tell him he don't know what he's talking about. It's only because, dear family, you are unable to accept constructive criticism when somebody point out to you something that you're doing wrong or something that you could do better to make you better, to evolve your life. Because if you always lean on your own perspective, then you will never know what life has to offer you. And when you get in certain situations, you won't even know how to deal with them. You got to be able to accept constructive criticism, whether it be from your children telling you you wrong, Whether it be from your significant other telling you wrong. Whether you in a disagreement or an argument, and you quick to point out the imperfections of the person, but the person can't point out your imperfections, but you want them to acknowledge what you had to say while you disregard what they have to say. Come on, man. It's time to evolve. I don't knock nobody for what they do. To each his own. But if you doing the same thing you was doing 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and the same thing you doing now, you dead to the knowledge of self, and you savage and living a beast life. What do I mean by that? What you mean by that, Cousin P? I'm dead. One who think they know everything knows nothing. One who's not doing nothing is and not producing anything is considered dead. You're worthless. You're not useless. You're not useful. Because it says usefulness determines your value. I done seen men and women that I've grown up with doing the same thing we was doing 10 and 20 years ago. I done been in situations with women, and me trying to give them what I had to offer, sometimes women get a little frustrated and can't look past your imperfections on what you're trying to give them. You know, I may not be able to do something to the best of your... somebody text me. I may not be able to do something to your satisfaction, and so you claim I can't teach you nothing. But what if I'm a great swimmer and we in the ocean? Is you gonna lean on my understanding then? It means that I may be failing in one, but I'm greater than another. And just because I failing in one situation doesn't mean I don't have nothing to offer in other situations. Damn, my lips dry. So, allow somebody to come into your life and give you something that you never had. Give you a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? Enlighten you on, you know, something that's gonna make you what God intended for you to be. Because that's how God works. People come into your life, and that person affects your life in one way or another, whether it's good or bad. It's some wisdom in bad, and there's some wisdom in good. Because you know what not to do again, and you can see the certain signs that lead up to it. God gives you that wisdom to understand that now. Once something fails you, or you fail at something, and when you could appreciate what somebody offering or giving you, you could say, damn, I want to do it like that. He's an inspiration. She's an inspiration. She's a motivation. He's a motivation for me. So it's wisdom in both wrong and right. You just got to tap into the energy and apply it where you need it. Now, being that if you're not evolving, you dying. Being that if you're not evolving, you dying. What I mean by that is that people that know you You look the same. Ain't nothing about you different. And the unalike attracts. Something different attracts. You know, I get on this social media and I see people I used to deal with, and they talk the same. They even dealing with certain shit like, damn, you dealing with that? Not to say that I'm better, but god damn it, you gonna step up, judge the tree by the fruit it bears. Why when here's a man that's elevated you into a knowledge and an understanding and been so supportive, and you doing the same shit and you rocking and willing with something that don't even compensate you. That's going backwards. You not evolving. I'm not dealing with no woman with the same mentality that I dealt with 5-10 years ago. If I could see that coming. It was good when I was in the game. Certain mentalities you need for the game. And so those particular situations was good for me. But where I am in my life today, dear family, and where you are in your life, dear family, get something to complement you that you may grow from it. Because a nation only rises high as a great woman. A man only rises high as a woman beside him. And a woman only rises as high as a man beside her. But you could tell what you have on your side by your conduct and your character and your evolving in life. So, look at your cousin P. I studied how to eat to live. I wasn't doing that 10, 20 years ago. I take care of my body. I was running ragged in them streets 20 years ago. I go to the dentist faithfully. I wasn't doing that 20 years ago. I get checkups regularly. I wasn't doing that 10 years ago. I watch what I eat. I put the best foods in my body. I take the best minerals. I'm drinking my sea moss. If I say it wrong, I apologize. Bladder whack or whack bladder. I'm going to do a podcast on these minerals that you should be taking, these vitamins that you should be taking. I take my vitamin E, my vitamin D, my B6, my B17. I don't eat nothing without the seed in it. If it doesn't have a seed, it's genetic modified. You come from a seed. Everything in life germinates from a seed. Who's taking out the seeds in the food? The bananas used to have the black seeds in the middle. They white as snow white. That's going to be a podcast on how to eat to live that I'm going to do for the dear family. But we talking about knowing if you evolving. If you still cussing like a Russian racehorse 10 years ago and you still doing it, that's you. You ain't gonna change. That's who you become. You don't even want to see yourself in a better light. If you walk around with big stomachs and 5 and 10 years ago you had a big stomach, you ain't doing nothing to save your life. Do you know why you have a big stomach? It ain't just because you eating too much. It's because you putting the bad foods in your body that's accumulating inflamed, fat, grease, so much buildup of plaque, so much feces on your intestinal walls, your stomach feel hard and bloated. It's because you're not eating right, dear family. You're doing the same thing you did 5-10 years ago. You can't, with youngsters, we can eat anything we want. We grown now, we feel every ache and pain after the 40s. You got to eat right. You can't be consuming all that damn sugar and, oh, come on, dear family. How do you know when you evolve? How did I know that I was evolving? Number one, I used to allow the money to be the father, and I was in them streets running them. So I would neglect my children based on the habit of hustling, the mentality, the dysfunctional situations I grew up in, that led me to believe one thing, but I grew into something different that led me to understand circumstances in life. And what I was doing wasn't balanced. So I allowed the money. When the kids wanted something, here go the money, but I'm gone. No time with daddy. None. I evolved because now I'm here. I'm physical. My kids doing football. My kids doing gymnastics. My kids doing spelling bees. My son in the studio. I'm supporting. My daughters is singing when they want to. But I also know how to draw the line in the sand and know what's inappropriate and what's appropriate in when dealing with children, because I ain't none of my kids' friends. I'm a parent first. They get the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding first. And they already know how I am. If it ain't right, you're going to hear about me. Because you got to be the better example. And not only that, I'm going to let you bump your head because that's life. You know? But if it's a constant thing, then you ain't getting it. And you're heading down the road of destruction and failure. So I got to pull your coattail. And the way I may pull it, you may not like it, but it's always in your best interest. You feel me? That's how I know that I evolved. The second thing that made me feel like I was evolving, I quit lying to women. I entertain great conversations, but I don't chase women. That ship has sailed. You can't get me. I done had it all when it comes to a woman. I'm more interested in what you have to offer that we may build in friendship only. Other than that, dear family, I don't lie to women and say, oh, I'm not in a relationship or I'm not doing this. Some things ain't your business, and I ain't gonna tell you my business. However, if on a need-to-know basis, if you're going down certain avenues, I'm gonna address some things. How far it's gonna go. So that's when I knew I was evolving. Because I ain't lying to no goddamn woman. I ain't hiding around no corners, and I ain't sneaking nowhere. I'm sufficient. What God has blessed me with. How do I know that I'm evolving? Number 3, I let a woman come into my life and lead the way on teaching me how to be better than I was yesterday. That black woman is powerful. And this is why So Black and So Beautiful is the powerfulest movement in the hills of North America, next to the final call of judgment of God. And we have a reminder in our midst with Minister Louis Farrakhan. But this So Black and So Beautiful movement is to allow black people to fall back in love with black people. We hate our own kind. We backstab our own kind. We gossip about our own kind. We'll go to the Chinese store before we go to the black store. There's some things about us black people that this devil has put us in a compromising position. He has taken so much from us where we are deaf, because when a call is given, we don't even hear it by one of God's people. We are blind because we see what's going on, but we act like we don't see it. And we are dumb to the knowledge of self because you don't even know how powerful you is. You always waiting for somebody to do something for you when you could get up and do it for yourself. If we black community was to come together collectively, we'll establish banks in every city, like our beloved Mexican families. Stores in every city. You think Safeway and Lucky's and Raley's and Sprouts is your store? No. That's the white man's store. Where your store at? The Mexicans got their store. Chinese got their store, they markets. Where your store at? You always talk about mine. Get out of you work at a facility. You talk about get out of my store. God damn it. Ain't a damn thing in here belong to you but what you got on that you paid for, if that. And as soon as they fire your ass, you gonna go along with what you got on and get up out of there. And you ain't taking none of my store with me. So get out of that foolishness. You know, the master sick, we sick type mentality. Get out of that type of mentality and get into So Black and So Beautiful and what it means. It represents family. It represents structure. It represents discipline. It represents dignity. It represents so much that we have to grow into. But first, I got to call the people to the table. So black and so beautiful. The universal call all around the world. Can you hear me? It's your cousin, Cutting P. See, some of y'all feel like you don't have the ability to call on people because that's how weak and timid you are. You don't even feel the God in you that could produce a call in the universe and everybody answer. So you say, damn, how he gonna call all these black people? That's why I said you deaf, dumb, and blind to the knowledge of self, savage, and living a beast life, and you don't know who you are. I'm a God. The black man is God. Didn't it say ye are all gods and the most high power, the highest God? I'm going to call a universal call to the black beautiful woman and the black beautiful man to stand up and connect that which is disconnected and love one another and sit down and reconcile differences and let's build on that. I'm going to call it. I'm doing it with this So Black and So Beautiful brand, baby. I ain't asked for a dime from nobody. I took the idea that God blessed me with, got my supportive cast around me and said, back me. And they said, yes, sir. Let's go to work. That's what we doing there, family. We working. So I'm going to call a universal call. And watch how everybody answer. Because you're going to fall back in love with black. It's beautiful. And I heard something on Facebook saying, you always talking about black. Black is the essence which all colors come. Matter of fact, all races came out from a black woman and a black man. We are their fathers. God created himself out of triple darkness. Come on, talk to me. Let there be light, therefore it was dark. He manifests and germinate life out of triple darkness of your mother's womb. Black is the essence, is the life juggling vein of everything on our planet. We are the original people, dear family. So that's why I talk first black. You know what I'm saying? But when I give you that wisdom and knowledge, hold on to your seatbelts, because you're going to find out something about yourself you probably don't even know. But you can get the same thing I'm getting. I want every black man and black woman to read the message to the black man. I don't give a damn what religion you confess or profess. Get that book and read it. And then come talk to me. How do you know that you're evolving? When you no longer have to play games with women. When you can accept constructive criticism to build yourself. When you go wrong somebody and you pick up the phone and say, look, I apologize. Pick up all your baggage and keep it moving. We ain't gonna lay down. That's how you know you evolving. When you done, abusing your body with bad foods, and every weekend I got to have a drink. I got to have a drink. Consuming so much sugar. That's when you know if you're doing the same thing you did 5 and 10, 20 days ago, 20 years ago, you ain't thinking past your nose. And this is why my daddy said, you so focused on the picture, you forgetting about the frame that's bigger than the picture, because you're going to stuff your face with all that food that tastes good and smell good, but at the end of the day, you killing yourself, because now I'm constipated. I can't use the bathroom. My stomach hurt. Oh, my kidneys failing. Don't you know that the body needs things to function just like a vehicle? When you ain't got no good oil in that car, start running a little raggedy. When that water low, it starts smoking a little bit. The lights come on and it's telling you something wrong. That's when you get a headache. When you feeling aches and pains and headaches, that's a red light going off saying, stop what you doing. Check your dipstick. Meaning, what have I been doing? What's going on with me? Where's hurting at? How did that happen? You got to check your dipstick, do a diagnostic check on yourself. That's why I said in the podcast, self-check, reality check. Self first. And then you go to work to put the good foods and the best things back in the body to build the body back up with strength. Get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know when you evolving. If you still being arrogant and stubborn and can't and unable to talk something out of or set dialogue, if you was doing that shit 5, 10 years ago, 2 days ago, and you ain't you still stuck on dead, you still dead. You gotta come alive. See, Jesus' conversation when he was the resurrected dead, it wasn't the dead in the physical graveyard, because he was teaching the people. So he was waking the dead by teaching them the knowledge of themselves, and teaching them who God was, because apparently he had to come because everybody was living a savage and beast life, and everybody was disobedient to the will of God. And he's the only one that was the great example of God himself. And this is why he said, don't honor me, honor him who sent me. He's the example to be like. And that's why he said, if you see me, you see the Father. But he said, don't worship me. Go read that in the Bible. I love that book. But it also says, bless those who read and understand. He said, don't honor me, honor him who sent me. So he was an example for us. And he was to come and resurrect the dead. The dead, because when you disobedient to God, you dead. But when you obedient to God, you alive. And so when the mass of the people go astray into fornication and doing things contrary to nature and contrary to life, and God raises one from among that people to teach that people to bring them back into obedience. That's what the resurrection of the dead is. He said, heaven flows in the land like honey. He didn't say in the sky like honey. He said in the land like honey. That's another time for some wisdom for you. Nevertheless, it's time to evolve. It's time to self-check, reality check yourself. Quit holding grudges. Pick up the phone, call your peoples. You know what I'm saying? Set dialogue with them. Accept constructive criticism. Do all these things to make you a better person, because that's what it's about. It's about being different. And so when you're different, it's another knowledge that you have, that you can see something else other than what you used to seeing. Because if you used to seeing, the shit is old. If you used to doing it, the shit is old. You know what I'm saying? It's time to evolve, dear family. So you know when you have evolved, when you're able to accept constructive criticism, when you're not doing the same thing you've been doing day before yesterday, last week, last month. It's time to evolve, baby. So Black and So Beautiful is here. The brand is here. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Cousin P from the B. Hey, put me all across social media, man. You know, don't be scared of me, because I ain't scared of you. Yeah, the suck I'm scared of ain't born yet. Put me across social media. I ain't got nothing to hide. I ain't in no game. I'm retired, man. God has blessed me with a support system and a family that loves me. We may have our differences, but my family loves me. What family don't have differences? I don't get down the way they get down. That's all. They don't get down the way I get down. I always got something to say. You know, shit happens. However, it's your brother, Cousin P, and I'm going to continue to do my podcast. I'm going to continue to try to upgrade myself and be better in podcasters. And just look out for me, man, because there's no, God knocked the fear out of me. I fear nothing but God himself. So it's time to evolve. It's time to take yourself and believe in higher heights. As I was saying in the last statement before I get off, I'm a God. I'm a call, the universal call. And how do I know they're going to listen? Why you think that you can't call a call and the people ain't going to listen? Is you that you feel less? Damn, you don't feel nothing about yourself. I feel great about myself. When those rappers rap, they get 2 or 3, 4 million people listening and get 2 or 3, 4 million sales. So don't tell me that you can't call a call and you can rap a rap and get that many consumers. You can call a call and get that many people. If the rap industry could do it, I could do it. That's how come I know, without a shadow of a doubt, this movement is going to be successful because of the drive in me, the love in me. And I know how to humble myself. And I know how to submit when I'm wrong. And I know how to step down. But I also know how to get back up and go back to work, dear family. It's your cousin, Cotton P. Holla at your boy, man. Peace out.